जय जगन्नाथ शुभ संध्या नीलाद्रो शंखमध्ये शतदल कमले रत्नसिंहासनस्थं सर्वालंकारयुक्तं नवघनरुचिरं संयुक्तं जाग्रतेन भद्राया वामभागे रथचरणयुतं ब्रह्मरुद्रेन्द्र सेव्यं देवानां सारमेशं सृजन परिवृतं ब्रह्मदारु स्मरामि परम कारुणिक अनंत कोटि ब्रह्मांडर मौडमणि कोटि कोटि ओडियांकर हृदयर आराध्य देवता समग्र विश्व चराचर स्रष्टा आनंद कंद परमानंद सचिदानंद अखिल रसघन विग्रह विश्व वेदनार वैद्य देवाधिदेव श्री श्री जगन्नाथंकर चरण कमल रे ए अकिंचनर कोटि कोटि प्रणाम। I, Dr.NAMITA Patnaik, being the convener and host of this 101 national webinar, invite all of the viewers to this Google board, and I take this pride and honor to invite our speaker of today's evening, the most attraction, Dr.S. Patro. He is the former principal of SKCG Junior College, and now he is the president of Orissa Environment Society. And I welcome Dr. Nalini Prabha Mohapatra, the president of this webinar, to this Google board, who is also the principal of Mahasi College of Natural Law. I also welcome Vice Principal Dr. PRITISHREE NAYAK, the reader in Botany, and also the HOD Botany Department, Mahasi College, to this Google board. I welcome all the viewers, starting from Srinagar, Jammu and Kashmir, to Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Jharkhand, Bihar, West Bengal, and many more. From Delhi, Minati ma'am is there. So many friends from so many places. I mean, we forgotten their state name, but they're always with us. So, I extremely sorry. I just want to say welcome and invite Dr. KP Misra, the State Chief Commissioner, Odisha State Forest Scouts and Guide, who is our patron of this series of webinar organized by the ROVER Ranger Unit of Mahasi College of Natural Law. I also welcome Dr. Rekha Das, the ex-director of Vocational Education of Orissa, and also the Secretary of OBA, Odisha Vigyan Academy. And besides that, there are so many important people from so many places, like Roma Wani from Jammu and Kashmir, Salima ji from Jammu and Kashmir, Dilip from Bihar, and Satish ji, Rajesh ji from Jharkhand. And we are also having many friends from Maharashtra, Pune. So I welcome all of you to this Google board. Now it's time to welcome our guests virtually. Our chief speaker of today's evening, Dr. Sundar Narayan Patro, who is the professor in botany, being the ex-principal of SKCG College, PARALAKHEMUNDI, After his retirement, he is continuing with the president, the founder, member of this Odisha Environmental Society. Previously, he was the secretary, and now he is continuing as the president. Teaching and administration capacity being 35 years. He has imparted as reader in botany in various colleges of Orissa State in +2 up to MPhil level, and having a very wide experience starting from 1967 to 2001. And he is also the coordinator of one of the best project, that is Odisha Environment Program, the project of Indo and Norwegian cooperation under the administrative control of Government of Orissa and Forest and Environment Department for 5 years, starting from 95 to 2000. And also, being the principal also, there are so many works he has to do. So that is an administrative capacity. Besides, he has got some research area, that is ecological aspect of shifting cultivation, particularly podu chaso ame jota koche, and biodiversity. He has got many publications, more than 30 books on natural habitat and biodiversity, environment, science. And he has also research paper and popular articles in Oriya and English in many international and national and local publications, including newspaper. You might have seen many times participating in TV, radio, media panel discussions on particularly environment program, wildlife program, natural resources and science. And he has also being requested like us to be the guest faculty and a guest and research person in different training programs, seminars and conferences. So he is also nowadays doing the under the service in full time to Odisha Environment Society as the president, and conference, seminar, workshop during her tenure as a administrator, as a principal, as a senior reader. He has attended many state and regional and national and international level seminars. To his credit, he had been to European countries, Canada, Japan, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Nepal for this academic and educational purposes. And he has been also nominated to various governmental and non-governmental committees of the state. That is, he was the State Board for Wildlife and Standing Committee to the State Board for Wildlife as a member, and then different committees on biodiversity, rich natural habitat in Orissa, and that is a particular zone, and on environment. Then Orissa Assembly House Committee, that is a very, very important committee on environment. He was selected for that, and he was also the Senate of Sri Jagannath Sanskrit University and Executive Council of Orissa Vigyan Academy and Institutional Ethics Committee, Bhubaneswar chairperson. So he is associated with many organizations, that is like our Orissa Environment Society. You will find he's also associated with Indian Science Congress, being the life member and the founder convener of the ISCA Bhubaneswar chapter, being the convener for the last 10 years from 96 to 2006, the National Environment Science Academy life member, the Odisha Vigyan Academy life member, Plant Lovers Association life member, Odisha Botanical Society and Society of Geoscientists and Allied Technologists, and some more an academic and social organization. He was nominated as the life member, and being the fellow of Ashoka Foundation, that is in Virginia, United States since 1991, and fellow of this OES Bhubaneswar since 2017. And besides, he has been felicitated and awarded with many, many awards and rewards. Out of them, the two most important, I'll tell you, that is BHUBANESWAR Award for Wildlife Conservation 2009, the State Award for 2008 and 9 by Government of Orissa Forest Department, and Prakriti Bandhu Puraskar 2015 by the Government of Orissa Forest and Environment Department of Orissa. Besides, many private organizations also felicitated him in 94, Paribesh Bandhu by Vigyano Paribesh Vikas Samiti Katak. 2002 Environmentalist of the Year of the Orissa Botanical Society in 24th Annual Conference. Then 2003 Green Scientist Award by the Green Life Movement Puri. Then 2004 Rajiv Gandhi Sadbhavana Award. In 2004 Mahesh Prasad Purohit Memorial Award for popularization of plant science in state of Odisha by Odisha Botanical Society. Then 2010 Kumadini Gokulanand Environmental Award by Odisha Vigyan Parichaya Samiti. 2011 Simati Bina Runwal Memorial Award by Society of Geoscientists and Allied Technologists. Then 2012 Trust Sanman by Trust TRUST, one of the organization. Then 2014, that is Parichaya Pratibha Sanman by Parichaya Social Welfare and Development Trust of India. And 2018 Lifetime Achievement Award for popularizing science, that is in 16th All India People's Science Congress organized in 2018. And then Bharat Gyan Vigyan Samiti, National Institute of Science and Education Research, Niger. Then 2019 that is Paryavaran Sanman by Women in Society Help, WIS, one of the organization. Then 2019 Lifetime Achievement Award by Odisha Environmental Society. 2020 Paryavaran Mitra Award by Initiative for Moral and Cultural Training Foundation. Then 2022, this year, he has been awarded with Paryavaran Suraksha Sanman, first Janki Vallabh Memorial Award. And he has been also felicitated in 2007 by Silver Jubilee Function of Orissa Environment Society for his outstanding contribution to as a founder member. Then 2010 Botanist Association of Ravensa College felicitated him. 2010 Dakshina Odisha Unayan Parishad felicitated him. In 2014 INSF, in 2014 Indian Science of Congress Association in Bhubaneswar chapter. Then 2016 Odisha Vigyan Academy. 2019 Prasanna Kumar Das Centenary Memorial Committee as the eminent environmentalist of Odisha. Then to 2020 Barishta Nagarik Sanman by Odisha State Housing Board Kalani Khandagiri Bhubaneswar. And 2022 Kalinga Vyasa Sangha 2 Bhubaneswar. So many organizations felicitated him. Not only he is a scientist or environmentalist, but his deep involvement in the society for his developmental activities. So I welcome you, sir. It's my proud privilege to once again welcome you to this Google board. And we are very fortunate, sir, to get you on this auspicious day of World Environment Day, which we are going to observe today. And the webinar title being One Only One Earth, Gotiye Prithvi. Kevala Gotiye Prithvi. The theme of today's Environment Day and this auspicious day will listen from you. However, I just want to say a few sentences about the program. Then I'll now request Anshuman, one of our rover, who will start the program with Ved part. Over to Anshuman.
Yes, ma'am. Jai Jagannath. Om गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमस्रवस्तवं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणं ब्रह्मणस्पदान शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनं प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनाममित्रयवतु गणेशाय नमः सरस्वत्यै नमः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम्.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Anshuman. उन्नीस 1972 जून मास 5 तारीख को 5 ରୁ 16 ତାରିଖ ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ସ୍ୱିଡେନର ରାଜଧାନୀ ଷ୍ଟକହୋମ ଠାରେ ମନୁଷ୍ୟକୃତ କାର୍ଯ୍ୟକଳାପ ଓ ପରିବେଶ ଉପରେ ଏକ ଆନ୍ତର୍ଜାତୀୟ ସମ୍ମିଳନୀ ଆୟୋଜିତ ହୋଇଥିଲା। ଏହା ବିଶ୍ୱର ପ୍ରଥମ ଆନୁଷ୍ଠାନିକ ପରିବେଶ ମାନସ ମନ୍ଥନ ଥିଲା। ଏଥିରେ 113ଟି ଦେଶର ପ୍ରତିନିଧି, ମୁଖ୍ୟତଃ ଶାସନ ମୁଖ୍ୟ ଓ ପ୍ରାୟ 400 ବେସରକାରୀ ଅନୁଷ୍ଠାନର କର୍ମକର୍ତ୍ତା ମାନେ ଯୋଗ ଦେଇଥିଲେ। ଆମ ଦେଶର ତତ୍କାଳୀନ ପ୍ରଧାନମନ୍ତ୍ରୀ ଏଥିରେ ଭାଗ ନେଇ ବିଶ୍ୱ ସମୁଦାୟକୁ ପରିବେଶ ସୁରକ୍ଷା ପାଇଁ ଆହ୍ୱାନ ଦେଇଥିଲେ। ଫଳସ୍ୱରୂପ ସଂଯୁକ୍ତ ରାଷ୍ଟ୍ର ପରିବେଶ କାର୍ଯ୍ୟକ୍ରମ ୟୁନାଇଟେଡ୍ ନେସନ୍ସ ଏନଭାୟରନମେଣ୍ଟ ପ୍ରୋଗ୍ରାମର ଆରମ୍ଭ ହୋଇଥିଲା। ଜନଜାଗରଣ ସୃଷ୍ଟି ଓ ବାର୍ଷିକ କାର୍ଯ୍ୟକ୍ରମ ନିର୍ଦ୍ଧାରଣ ପାଇଁ ପ୍ରତିବର୍ଷ ଜୁନ 5 ତାରିଖକୁ ବିଶ୍ୱ ପରିବେଶ ଦିବସ ଭାବରେ ପାଳନ କରାଗଲା। ପ୍ରଥମ ବିଶ୍ୱ ପରିବେଶ ଦିବସ 1974 ମସିହା ଜୁନ ମାସ 5 ତାରିଖରେ ବିଧିବଦ୍ଧ ଭାବରେ ଆମେରିକା ଠାରେ ଅନୁଷ୍ଠିତ ହୋଇଥିଲା। ଆଉ ପ୍ରଥମ ବର୍ଷର ବିଷୟବସ୍ତୁ ଥିଲା ଓନ୍ଲି ୱାନ୍ ଆର୍ଥ, କେବଳ ଏକ ପୃଥିବୀ। सो प्रत्येक वर्ष एक आयोजक देश और परिवेश केंद्रीय विषय वस्तु स्थिर करा जाय थाए एवं से दिवस पालन नेकरी आमे वर्तमान 2022 रे पहुंचीचु 50तम दिवस पालन करिवा पई संयोग वशत ए वर्षर विषय वस्तु मत केवल एक पृथ्वी। तेणु प्रकृति सहित चिरकाल किपरि आमे सहवस्थान करि परिबा सुसहवस्थान सेति पई हमर ए कार्यक्रमर उद्देश्य। आयोजक देश हूँ स्वीडेन। दीर्घ 50 वर्ष धरी आज पर्यंत वार्षिक परिवेश दिवस पालन व्यतीत अनेक विश्वस्तरीय सम्मेलन आयोजन कराई परिवेशर उन्नति निमंते एवं निरविच्छन भाव में उद्यम जारी रही। किंतु से मात्र 3टी राजीनामा आम जदि देखा विश्व जो प्रयास करी तार माइल खुंट गोटे है प्रथमटी है स्टॉकहोम सम्मेलन पर सचेतनता वृद्धि पाई परिवेशर उन्नति हो पारानी अवक्षय आड़ को गला। 1997 मसीह जापान क्योटो सहर में 152टी देशर प्रतिनिधि माने तर्जना करथिले एवं से माने जानि को पाइले अर्बनाइजेशन एवं इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन शहरीकरण और शिल्पोन्नति ए जोगु हमर जो ग्रीन हाउस केमती असुविधा होता से सब विषय सार कहिबे। मु से विषय को माने भीतर को जाऊनी जस्ट जानिबा पई सेति बेले पृथ्वी केमती माने उत्तप्तिकरण हो जाइतिला एवं परिवेशर अवनति आरंभ होइतिला प्रधान कारण थिला। तापरे आमे आसिले 41टी शिल्पोन्नति देश यूरोप रो देश गुडी पई गैस रो मात्रा 1990 मसिया स्तर थारु 5.2% हास करिया पई चेष्टा हैला एवं सेही अनुसार कीटो प्रोटोकॉल नाम रे गोटे आईनगत स्वीकृति दिया जायतिला। किंतु सेतरे मध्ये किछि हेइ नथिला। सेही बरे पुणी केमती आमे आगु को गले ए सब विषय आमे सार कटु सुनिबा। वर्तमान जदि आमे देखिबा भूपृष्ठ रे मानव जाति तिष्ठि रहबा पई तापमात्रा वृद्धि को 1.5 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड भितरे सीमित रखिबा पई निहाती आवश्यक। तेणु सबुज गृह गैस प्रकारांतरे कार्बन परिमाण केमती ह्रास हबो प्रत्येक राष्ट्र 5 वर्ष योजना भितरे 2025 रु 2030 पई निज तरफरु प्रस्तुत करिवे। ए होची ए जो राष्ट्र मानकर अवदान रो फलाफल स्वच्छ एवं स्वच्छ विवरणी प्रदान करिवे। सेति पई गोटा अंतर्जातिक निरीक्षण संस्था मध्ये तयारी हेची जोटा कि बाध्यतामूलक मूल्यांकन करिवो से सब कार्यक्रम को एवं अनुन्नत एवं आर्थिक अनग्रसर देश गुडी को ए कार्य पई किछि आर्थिक और वैषयिक सहायता मध्ये तांको दिया जिवो। ए कार्यक्रम करिबा पई ए सब स्थिर हो जाइछि। अमेरिका रे परवर्ती समय जेतले पेरिस रो एग्रीमेंट रे सेतरे हमें चिंता कले ए विषय रे सेतबेले आलोचना हैला। वर्तमान जो बाइडेन सरकार सेतबेले थिले से माने राजीनामा को कार्यकारी करिया को स्वीकृति देउ नथिले पुणी परवर्ती स्वीकृति देले एवं परिस्थिति रे 2021 मसिया एवं नवेम्बर मासरे आरंभ हैला जोठी के 120 रु ऊर्ध्व राष्ट्र जॉइन कले ब्रिटेन रो ग्लासगो शहर रे एकाठी हेले। सेठी मध्य 2020-30 पर्यंत गोटे दशंधि को नियागला जलवायु कार्यक्रम एवं तार सहायता भाव में केमती तापमात्रा को वृद्धि को 1.5 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड रे सीमित रखिबा एवं पुनर्बार पुणी समते प्रतिश्रुतिबद्ध हेले। किंतु दुर्बल देश गुडी $100 बिलियन सहायता राशि द्विवार्षिक मूल्यांकन पद्धति स्थिर है। पर्यायक्रमे पुणी कोईला भित्तिक तापज विद्युत उत्पादन अपसारण है। माटी तलु इंधन सरकारी सहायता प्रताह 2050 सुधा पृथ्वी को शून्य कार्बन स्थिति में पहुंचाई गोटे बहुत बड़ कमिटमेंट रखा जाइछि। तेणु परिवेश सुरक्षा आम समस्त मौलिक कर्तव्य रही। ए विषय आमे सार ठारे वर्तमान सुनिबा। मु आउ अधिक ए विषय कहूनी केवल परिवर्तन केपरि संभव हम आम समस्त खाली शुणीचे बाटे जानीचे व्यापक वृक्षरोपण तेबे आउ सब किपरि परिवेशर अवनति होउची एवं ए परिवेशर सुरक्षा पाई सुस्थ सबुज सुंदर विश्व परिवेश गोटे गठन करने आम जो संकल्प नवा आज ए कार्यक्रम मुख्य उद्देश्य सो दिस इज एन इनिशिएटिव to not only involve ourselves in this webinar for the World Environment Day, but also to make a commitment for the continuous effort to develop our society and to protect our environment. आमर पृथ्वी आम धरित्री को आमे केमती प्रोटेक्ट करबा आज वेबिनार रो मुख्य उद्देश्य। तेणु आज मु अनुरोध करी वर्तमान डॉक्टर एसएन पात्र सार को से आमको ए विषय रे पुंखानुपुंख भाव बुझाई देबे। ओवर टू डॉक्टर एसएन पात्र सार।
Namaskar.
Sir.
It's very nice that you started with Jagannath Janana, followed by Vedapath by Ansuman. I am confused whether I would speak in Oriya or English because you said people representing from different states.
Around 10 states, sir. 10ଟି राज्यରୁ ଅଛନ୍ତି ସାର୍। ସେମାନେ ଓଡିଆ ବି ବୁଝନ୍ତି ସାର୍। ଓଡିଆ ହିନ୍ଦୀ ଇଂଲିଶ ସବୁ ବୁଝନ୍ତି ସାର୍। ଆମ ସାଙ୍ଗରେ 2 ବର୍ଷ ହେଲାଣି ଅଛନ୍ତି ସାର୍।
ଓଡିଆରେ କହିବା?
ଆଜ୍ଞା ସାର୍, ଆଜ୍ଞା ସାର୍। ମଝିରେ ମଝିରେ ଇଂଲିଶ ଟିକେ କହିଦେବେ ସାର୍। ଆପଣ ଯେତେବେଳେ ପାୱାର ପଏଣ୍ଟ ପ୍ରେଜେଣ୍ଟେସନ ଦେବେ ସେତେବେଳେ ଇଂଲିଶରେ କହିଦେବେ।
ବହୁତ ଭଲ କଥା।
ସାର୍
ନମିତା ମ୍ୟାଡାମ 3 ଦିନ ପୂର୍ବରୁ 10:30 ପରେ ମତେ ରାତିରେ ଫୋନ କଲେ। ମୁଁ ଶୋଇ ପଡେ 10ଟା ବେଳେ। ପ୍ରଥମ ଫୋନଟି ଧରିଲି, ସେ କଣ କହିଲେ ମୁଁ ଆଉ ଜାଣିନି। ଦ୍ୱିତୀୟ ଥର ଫୋନ ଆଉ ଧରିଲି ନାହିଁ। ତା ପରଦିନ ଦେଖିବା ବେଳକୁ ପୁରା ପୋଷ୍ଟର କରି ସେ ପଠେଇ ସାରିଛନ୍ତି। ତେଣୁ ମତେ ଆଉ ସୁଯୋଗ ସେ ଦେଇନାହାନ୍ତି ହଁ କି ନା କରିବା ପାଇଁ। ମାନେ ଏକ ପ୍ରକାର ବାଧ୍ୟ। ମୁଁ ସେଠୁ ରେଖାକୁ ପଚାରିଲି କଣ ଏମିତି ନା ସେ ଜୟକୃଷ୍ଣ ଗତ ବର୍ଷ ଅତିଥି ଥିଲେ, ନମିତା ଚାହୁଁଛି ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ। ବୋଲେ ଠିକ ଅଛି, ମୁଁ ତ ଆଉଟଡେଟେଡ ହେଇଗଲିଣି, ତା ଭିତରେ ଯାହା କହିବା କଥା କହିବା। ତାପରେ ନମିତା ମ୍ୟାଡାମ ଏତେ ଯେ ଆଜି ପ୍ରଶଂସା କଲେ, ଆଉ ସେ ପ୍ରଶଂସା ହେଲେ ମୁଁ ଟିକେ ବହୁତ ଉତ୍ଫୁଲ୍ଲିତ ହେଇଗଲି। ତେଣୁକରି ପ୍ରଶଂସାର ଯୋଗ୍ୟ ପାତ୍ର ମୁଁ ନୁହେଁ କି ନାହିଁ ଜାଣିନି। ସେ ବାୟୋଡାଟା ମାଗିଲେ, ମୁଁ ଦେଇଥିଲି। ମୁଁ ଭାବିନଥିଲି ସବୁଗୁଡା ସେ ପଢିବେ, ଏତେ ଦରକାର ନଥିଲା। ଗୋଟେ ଲୋକର ପରିଚୟ ହଉଛି ତାଙ୍କ ନାଁ, ଆଉ ତାଠାରୁ ଅଧିକା କିଛି ଆବଶ୍ୟକ ନାହିଁ। ସେ ଯାହା ହଉ ମତେ ଭଲ ଲାଗିଲା ଯେ ରେଞ୍ଜର୍ସ ଆଣ୍ଡ ରୋଭର୍ସ महर्षि कॉलेज ऑफ नेचुरल लॉ जो यूनिट टी एते सुंदर कार्यक्रम रे निजको शामिल करछि। बहुत बहुत मु आनंदित हली, कारण मु निजे भी जने अध्यापक। मु एनएसएस, रेड क्रॉस, एडल्ट एजुकेशन सबुथिरे थिली। रेंजर्स रोवर रे नथिली कि एनसीसी रे नथिली। रेंजर्स रोवर्स विषय मोर धारणा किछि थिला। रेंजर्स रोवर्स आनुकूल्य रे महर्षि कॉलेज ऑफ नेचुरल लॉ रो ये जो कार्यक्रम हेछि, मु जहा कहूतली एनएसएस, एनसीसी आउ जेते एभली शिक्षानुष्ठान मानकरे व्यवस्था रही, से समस्त को उदाहरण स्वरूप ग्रहण करिकी से माने भी एभली एक वार्ता सुदूर प्रसारी करने आवश्यक, जहा फल आम स्थिति जेभली स्थितावस्था रे रहिबो। आज जो विषय वस्तु पर आम आलोचना करिबा से हला एकमात्र धरित्री। कोटि ब्रह्मांड जो कहाउसी, ब्रह्मांड रे कोटि कोटि ग्रह अछि। कोटि कोटि ग्रह रो गोटे ग्रह आमे जानिचे जीवंत, आउ अन्य ग्रह जीवंत कि ना आमे जानि ना। 10,000 वर्ष पूर्व जो सभ्यता थिला कारण आम जानू विवर्तनवादर सर्वशेष पाहाचरे मनीष पृथ्वी पृष्ठ पाद देला सेतेबेले से जाजावर भली खाद्य संग्रह करथिला केवल बंचिबा किंतु आज को 10,000 वर्ष पूर्वे आउ एक सभ्यता हला आरंभ हला सी हला कृषि सभ्यता मनीष जो जानिला मो ऑडिबल होउची तो
Yes, sir.
मु मनीष जो जानिला जे जाजवर भला बुलिकी निजर जीवन को पानी छड़ेकी हिंस्र जंतु संगे रहिबा अपेक्षा निर्दिष्ट जगार किसी फसल आदाय करिकी बसति स्थापन करिकी रहिबा ताकू आमे कहूचे एग्रीकल्चरल रिवोल्यूशन ता पूर्व अवस्था में कहूचे प्रिमिटिव रिवोल्यूशन सो एग्रीकल्चर रिवोल्यूशन जो आरंभ है प्राकृतिक जंगल रो अवक्षय आरंभ है कारण प्राकृतिक जंगल को काटी से माने कृषि जमी तैयारी कले ये भी परिवेश प्रति प्राकृतिक परिवेश प्रति एतेटा विपद सृष्टि करी नथिला 1750 परे आउ एक सभ्यता आसिला जाको आम कहूचु शिल्प सभ्यता इंडस्ट्रियल सिविलाइजेशन दिस इज द सिविलाइजेशन ऑफ मेकानाइजेशन ये जो इंडस्ट्रियल सिविलाइजेशन आरंभ हला 1800 शताब्दी मध्य भाग रे केवल 200 वर्ष मात्र बीती बर्तमान इतिमध्य ये 200 वर्ष शिल्प सभ्यता जगू प्रकृतिर प्राकृतिकता को जेते नष्टभ्रष्ट करदेला 2 लाख वर्ष ता पूर्व सेतेटा क्षति पहुंचे नहीं 1800 शताब्दी मध्य भागरू शिल्प सभ्यता आरंभ है प्रकृति एते भरपूर थिला जे विंश शताब्दी शेष पर्यंत आमे एतेटा असुविधार सम्मुखीन होई नथिले जदिबा 1972 बेलू आम टे सचेतन हेले नमिता मैडम जहाँ कहले 1972 विश्व रे प्रथम थर पाई एक सम्मेलन है जहाँ राजनीति पे नहीं बा अर्थनीति पे नहीं बा कौन सी धर्मशास्त्र पे नहीं परिवेश पाई दैट वाज द फर्स्ट एवर convention on environment in 1992 in a small country like Sweden in its capital Stockholm. So नाड़ी चिपिबा आरंभ हला सेतेबेलू किछि प्रतिकार व्यवस्था पाई चिंता करागला किंतु ता पर्याप्त नथिला इट वाज आफ्टर तापर प्रति 10 वर्ष रे थर थरे कन्वेंशन हला बट इट वाज इन 1992 2 decades after Stockholm conference in Rio de Janeiro of Brazil there was a summit that is called Earth Summit or Rio Summit. 72 रे जो कॉन्फ्रेंस हला तारो थीम थिला ह्यूमन एनवायरनमेंट, किंतु 92 रे जो थीम हला एनवायरनमेंट एंड डेवलपमेंट. Let us try to make a differentiate. Human environment जो theme थिला 72 रे, that was just related to see the impact of some changes in the environment that affected the man. In the 92 रे environment and development कहीं के रखा गया. So realization, people started realizing economic prosperity is not development. Generally, development means we mean economic development. Then the world could understand that economic development minus environmental conditions is no development. That was the biggest shift in the process of thought or definition of development. I am repeating, economic development is not the indication of development. Economic development establishes environment management. Economic development with environmental considerations is called development. You see, here I say, what is knowledge? Knowledge is nothing but discovery of truth. Application of knowledge is technology. So by applying technology, we do a lot of things. Rail engine, mines, industries, beautiful houses, transport, whatnot. But the application of technology paying no regards towards environment management is the result of the disaster that we are facing today. That is why another word came up, that is by Brundtland Commission, that was sustainable development. So what is sustainable development? Development for you and for your next generation. The kind of development where you do not utilize all the resources. Wise use of resources, natural resources, so that it meets your need and also meets the future need. So this is with this beginning, with this introduction. I don't know how much time you give me, but you please take liberty to stop me wherever you like. And if you also get boring also, you can stop me. I don't know. I would now request Namita madam
Yes, sir.
to kindly assist me
Sir.
in displaying the
Sir.
PowerPoint presentation.
Sir.
So friends, only one earth. This is the theme. Namita madam has already said the same theme is reiterated 50 years after the Stockholm conference. The host is the same country, same Sweden. Because the Sweden, an environmentally conscious state, wants to reiterate its commitment and wants to make it memorable. That is the reason, same theme, same country, but a different word. What it was in 72, that is not in 2022. Next slide, you see, this is a glimpse. Nature, environment, development. Next came up sustainable development. What is nature? Anything that is in pure form. What is environment? that is anything in also in pure form that the physical forces, vital forces like air, water, and land, in harmony with natural system, that is plants and animals. So development, if you take nature and environment together without causing any harm to the environment, that should be called development. But we fools, human beings, thought development means constructions. Development means mining. So the development which could not be understood in proper perspective, which alienated environmental considerations, gave a call that we should think of a new definition that is called sustainable development. Next slide. You see only one theme. As such, it provides an excellent opportunity to reconsider the legacy of the 72 UN conference. It's a landmark event that first called for the recognition of the rapid environmental changes as a legitimate political, social, and cultural concern. Next slide. Next slide. You see, some small actions having major impact. For today, if we cannot do so big things, to do some symbolic activities to celebrate World Environment Day, at least one example is, instead of using private car for every individuals, let us try to use group pooled cars or private buses, and for short distances bicycle. By this, the carbon footprint will definitely be reduced. This is a small endeavor. I have given it just to cite an example. Next slide. So how do you celebrate World Environment Day? At least if you can't do many things at your personal level, you can do something that avoid the comfort of a private vehicle, that you can do in your own hands. Switch off your air conditions and all other lights when not necessary. You can do. Try to enjoy the beauty of darkness at least for 1 or 2 hours in the evening, and water your garden and plant trees. Organize community cleanup activities. Share on social media your thoughts. Tell others about significance of environment protection. At least this you can do. Finally, World Environment Day gives us a chance to reflect, improving our relationship with nature and protecting the planet. That is harmony with nature. So next slide. Yes, this is a very important slide. I was referring to Earth Summit 1992. आप सब ध्यान दे के सुनना है. आपको ध्यान दे सुनतु. 92 Earth Summit laid the basic foundation of holding the steering of the vehicle of United Nations Environment Program, UNDP. Thanks to Maurice Strong, who struggled for 4 years before 72 convention, he made it success. 92 summary, 92 Earth Summit was also, it was successful. It is because of commitment of this person. 178 countries attended. So two things. For the first time, the Earth Summit 92 yielded in 3 legally binding documents. One was Convention on Biological Diversity. Second was Convention on Climate Change. Third was Convention on Combat Desertification. The Convention on Climate Change had many sittings. The latest COP26 Convention of Parties, Conference of Parties, had 26 sessions at Glasgow in November.
Yeah.
And the 15th session, COP15 of Biodiversity Convention, will be in China in September. Coming to 3 key documents beside these 3 legally binding documents: Rio Declaration, Forest Principles, and Agenda 21 means not 21 principles, an agenda which will act spread over 1 century. So what would be by 21st century, taking the Rio Declaration recommendations. So these 6 are very important. Madam referred to Kyoto Protocol. Those are follow-ups of Convention on Climate Change. So several such offshoots, several such subcommittees that has been there, that will go on, that was going on. After this, many conventions went on, but the next most fruitful was Paris Summit in 2015. Next slide, please. Let us try to understand what is nature. Nature means not only plants, animals, forests, and mountains, not only air, water, and land, but the interaction. So all these things together. What I mean to say, in Bhubaneswar, for example, we are all there. Is it not that the dogs, cats, rats, monkeys, human beings, plants are sharing the same climate? That is nature.
Yes.
A particular pond is an ecosystem. A particular village is an ecosystem. A particular mountain is an ecosystem. Particular ocean ecosystem. Even a particular state is also an ecosystem. Maybe micro or macro. So nature was virgin when creation started. But the virginity is lost to anthropogenic interference of human beings. You don't find any single virgin forest today. You don't find any single water body today. Next.
Environment.
This will skip. Next. Next, madam.
Yes, sir.
This development definition I have already said.
Yeah.
We'll skip. Next.
This is science.
This is also I have explained in my introduction.
Yeah.
Next. You see
Sustainable.
the sustainable development which I was telling. This
Very.
convention today's meeting,
Yeah.
is organized by Principal Morsila College, Vice Principal, and Namita. All are women. And many participants are women.
Yes, sir.
This lady, Brundtland, was the Norway's Prime Minister.
Yes.
A lady, she was the chairperson of a commission. That commission goes in her name in 1987. That commission defined sustainable development, that is the kind of development where you utilize the nature resources, not exhausting everything, but keeping something for the next generation. In other words, utilize the resources which does not overtake the recovery.
Oh.
Regeneration should not fall short of utilization. Rather, regeneration should be much more than utilization. There should be no deficit budget, there should be surplus budget. It means that. So that for the next generation is assured. You have not inherited from your
Parents.
previous generation. You have borrowed from your next generation. Next, you see, there are 4 pillars of sustainable development. I think there is some garbage. One is wise use of natural resources. Second is protection of environment. Third is, thank you, madam, economic development. Thanks for your technological expertise.
Yes, sir.
Fourth is socio-cultural development.
Okay, sir.
You started with Jagannath Janan. I'm very happy. You see, sustainable development, a building doesn't take rest on one pillar. Minimum there should be 4 pillars. Wise use of natural resources, not unused, not prodigal use of natural resources. When you use natural resources, you think of environment protection. While doing these things, you see that economic development is ensured. Otherwise, why should you think of environment? And while you are ensuring economic development, don't undermine or don't underestimate the power of socio-cultural development.
Yes.
All the villagers who are called trustees of the natural forest, their socio-cultural milieu is integration with natural resources. All the rituals are based on forest. All the rituals based on trees and animals. So all these 4 pillars are the strong, they lay very strong foundation of sustainable development. Next line, you see, this is just a picture.
Yeah.
Development versus destruction.
Destruction.
We need electricity, no doubt.
Yeah.
But for electricity, let us not beard the tree indiscriminately. You do it. But when you do it, think of the substitute first. Now government is doing what?
Buildings.
And
MLA colony.
No,
MLA
no,
colony.
no, MLA colony is an example. I
Oh.
am not going to that, all of you know. But the critical analysis, my critical analysis, government says we will remove 1 tree, plant 10 trees.
Mm.
Why don't you plant 10 trees first? Let
Then-
them grow, then
Yeah.
cut it.
Yes.
What about this gap? You are cutting the tree. 5-6 years after you will plant 10 trees. The service, the ecological service the tree was giving, who will give this? So that this approach is wrong. Next slide.
Yes. This is very important.
This is very important.
Yes.
The UN has 17 sustainable development goals, and the achieving target is 2030. I need not have to elaborately tell one by one.
Yeah.
All that you think about giving a better shape or dreaming of a livable, the only Earth planet, all the 17 goals are addressed to peace, harmony, and tranquility with planet Earth. Next.
I just want to add one thing, sir, here. We want to have individually either 16/2, that is 8 or 9 webinars for the sustainable development goals. Detailed.
Excellent.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yes, sir. And at that time, I'll take your help, sir.
No, madam, there are 17 goals.
Yeah.
Do one seminar on each goal
Okay, sir. Fine.
so that it gets attention.
Yes, sir. And it is required, sir. It is required,
Yes. ଆମେ ଗାଁରେ ନକ୍ସ ଖେଳୁ 17ଟା ନକ୍ସ.
sir.
Next.
Sir.
You see, this climate change, in brief, what are the impacts? Frequent droughts, floods, cyclones, earthquakes, sea level rise, loss of natural habitats and biodiversity, loss of crop production, melting of snow leading to colossal loss of life and property.
Health hazards.
This is undeniable. Next, these are the environmental challenges. You see, greenhouse gases, generally we know, greenhouse gases means carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, ozone, fluorocarbons. But do you know, in Bhubaneswar or any city, हमको जो गुलुगुली लगुची, गुलुगुली कहीं की लगुची, जो water vapor वायुमंडल रे अच्छी, that is the biggest greenhouse gas. IPCC, International Panel for Climate Change, defined water vapor is #1 greenhouse gas. It holds the heat for a pretty long time. So add to the list of greenhouse gases water vapor. So these are all the greenhouse gases which I have listed. Next. Now let us come to Orissa state. I am proud of Orissa state, whatever may be the poverty. We are in poverty because we could not make our natural resources value addition. Lack of political will, lack of technology, whatever you think. कथार अछि जहाँ नहीं उत्कले ता नहीं भारते. We have like Himalayan like hill, mountains and hills. We have ocean, rivers, biodiversity, what not. Everything that you get in India, Odisha is mini India. Even mineral resources, Odisha is 4.74% of the geographical area of India. But all major mineral resources like coal and this bauxite, manganese, chrome, all these are more than 20% of the country. So rich biodiversity with natural habitats, forest, farmland, wetland, freshwater and marine, everything, major minerals, skilled farmers and laborers, poor economy, prone to frequent natural hazards, pollution hazards. One thing that Orissa sustains a heavy loss of skilled manpower. Orissa is traditionally forest and agriculture based economy. But we are now having our economy in transition from forest and farm based economy to industry, mine and industry based economy. So forest and farm based economy is subscribing very low to the GDP compared to industry.
Yeah.
But forest and agriculture economy subscribes to zero emission,
Yes.
whereas industrial economy subscribes to emission. That is why if you compare this way,
Yeah.
I am just giving few resilient biodiversity pride of Orissa. Chilika, Asia's biggest. Because Chilika is still tolerably less polluted, parts come from far and wide, even outside India. What they find? Satkosia or Mahanadi, you know, that is the place where gharials you find nowhere else. That is the freshwater crocodile. We have 3 types of crocodiles in Odisha. One is Boula, that is Bhitarkanika, Gomua in Jasipur Similpal, also in Satkosia and Gharial. This year, some Gharial appeared. So, this Bhitrakonika, Satkosia, and Similpal. Similpal is the only biosphere in Orissa out of 18 in India. And Orissa Environment Society tried hard, got it achieved, biodiversity, biosphere. It is trying to impress upon the appropriate authorities to see that Mohendragiri in Gajapati district becomes another biosphere reserve.
Yes.
So these are still resilient. That's why what makes the olive ridley sea turtle come from far and wide to Bhagmatra, to Goya river mouth, to Rusicula mouth. Over the sky, what makes the birds to come to Bhitrakonika, Chilika and Mahanadi? Next slide. Let us see what Swami Vivekananda, Madam, apply your technology. What Swami Vivekananda said. Swami Vivekananda's foresight, a young man who died in very young, not even 40,
Yeah.
he could foresee few species of trees and plants, birds and bees are being always created in nature. That is evolution through changes brought about by time, environment and other causes. Thus, before the creation of man, nature was changing the trees, plants and other animals by slow and gentle degree. But when man came to the scene, he began to effect changes with a rapid stride. So the evolution process was taking place slowly, but human intervention has made the pace very faster. That way all these problems come. And in continually, he said, he continually transported, that is man, the nature, man transported the fauna and flora of one country to another country and introduced these hybrid varieties. So Vivekananda foresaw more than 100 years back, 125 years back. Next slide.
Yes, sir.
Next slide.
Sir.
What Gandhi said, you see, in whole of the world, if anyone worth addressing as apostle of ecosystem, that is Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi, 2 to 3 principles. One is, he believed in conservationism in preference over consumerism. That means he believed in use of natural resources according to the need, basic minimum need, not prodigal use. ଅଯାଚିତ ଭାବରେ ବ୍ୟବହାର କରିବା ପ୍ରାକୃତିକ ସମ୍ପଦକୁ ଏବଂ ଜଗି ରଖି ଆବଶ୍ୟକ ଅନୁସାରେ ବ୍ୟବହାର କରିବା. So he preached conservationism over consumerism. And he said, nature has all the resources to meet your need, not for your greed. And that he is a person who practiced what he preached. He did not maintain double standard. He did not say what he didn't preach. So he said he believed in production by masses, not production by machines. That means he said he wanted to promote cottage industries, which is giving employment to everyone based on local natural resources where no pollution is there. So he said in the next slide, he said, Gandhi, please underline the word. Mahatma Gandhi's observation of systematic emission of pollutants from the domination of machines led him to conclude that industrial civilization is satanic. Industrial civilization is satanic. It is a civilization which is highly injurious to man. He observed that the development of industrial activity is inversely proportional to the environmental degradation.
Oh.
So he identified that the real problem of ecological degradation is industrial civilization. So there are three civilizations. I have already said primitive civilization, agricultural civilization, third is industrial civilization, fourth is ecological revolution or ecological civilization, ecosystem civilization. Next is you see, you please take this as an example. Please compare the rural lifestyle and urban lifestyle. A rural house is made of the materials which are available within 2 to 3 square kilometers of state. What are the materials? Bounce,
Mati.
Tono, Loi, Mati, which does not need mining, no industry, no transportation, no distribution. Kintu ame jodi chinta kariyo urban, if you think of urban, you need cement, you need steel, you need paint, you need everything. You need sand, you need these metals. For everything, mining is required, industry is required, machines are required, transportation required, distribution is required. That is, so the ecological footprint of urban lifestyle is much more than the ecological footprint of rural lifestyle. Try to embrace rural lifestyle. I don't say stay in thatched house. Strike a compromise between these two, because a data says our urban concrete houses are the source of 40% of greenhouse generation. So let us try to design our house in such a way we utilize maximum sunlight for light and the natural breeze for our ventilation. What we do today, we start constructing building taking the view that I will stay in air conditioner bedroom. No,
No.
nature has given lot of things. I am talking to, I don't use air conditioner. I don't know how to put on and put off the switch of air conditioner. I am not lying, I am telling the truth. My children use, but I don't use. I just use just a fan. If there is a window, I don't use even fan. Water may be heat. So next slide. This is just an example how rich we are. This is Kandhamar Haldi, which has earned GI tag. What is GI tag? A particular product which is unique to the particular local habitat is a natural product that gets geographical indication tag. Kandhamar Haldi has got geographical indication tag. Like this, Kia Ketaki of Jam Gopalpur got geographical indication tag. So there are many products which are organic. Those organic products should be protected, promoted, and featured. Let us not apply this manure and fertilizer. Let us try to protect this organic nature. So a lot of things can be done. Next slide. Thanks, madam, for your technological expertise. See, this is an example I am telling everywhere. There is a gentleman, he is Akshay Patnaik, he is conservator of forest now. In Dumuduma, near Khandagiri, there is a wasteland. He developed a beautiful medicinal garden. All the plants he has labeled. He has put the labels. Botanical name, local name, and English name. I would request Namita madam to take a team from Mercy College and see
Yes.
that your vice
Okay.
principal, you were telling she is a botany. She is from
HOD.
botany. I am
Reader.
also from botany.
Yes, sir.
So let the botanist of Mercy Law College take her students to see this an example of personal endeavor.
Sure, sure.
Next slide.
Yes, sir.
You see, in 2007, there was an assessment to find out what medicinal plants in Orissa are facing the endangered status.
Okay.
41 plants were identified. Out of the 41 plants, some are trees, some are climbers, some are herbs, some are shrubs. So these, why I tell you here that out of these, some are critically endangered, some are vulnerable, some are endangered. These are the categories defined by IUCN in their red data book. International Union for Conservation of Nature has a red data list. Any species in that list is called critically endangered or vulnerable. In Odisha, whenever the forest department or the private organization or individual are undertaking plantation, let them try to select some of these species so that these species are not lost forever.
Yeah.
So when you do plantation, you should go for species selection.
Yes.
Don't cut salt trees and put there eucalyptus. That's wrong.
Yeah.
Next, madam. You can
Yes, sir.
share this slide to friends.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's right.
So next slide, madam.
Okay, sir. We're having this one.
Yes. What is ecosystem resilience? You know, there was corona. Some people were admitted into the hospital. Some people stayed back in the home, got treatment. Some people just went to heaven. So those who went to heaven, they had no resilience. Those who were not at all affected, they have 100% resilience. Those who were treated at home, they are partly resilient. Those who were hospitalized but come back home, they are poor resilience.
Yes.
So resilience means the capacity to absorb the shock. Suppose there is fire in the forest. The forest regenerates again.
Yes.
Suppose you cut some trees. The tree regenerates again. So the injury done to the natural system, if it is within a particular level, it can get back, regenerate. But if it is more than the ability of the system to regenerate, then that is called loss of resilience. So we should now think of a resilient nature so that our future generation is assured of an earth which is still habitable, livable, the only earth planet. Next. So I am coming to Paris Summit. You all know, still I repeat, the summary of Paris Summit, November 1st to December 12th. The summary is all countries agreed unanimously by end of 21st century will not allow the temperature to rise 2 degree, if possible, will limit it to 1.5 degree. How can you do it? You can do it by reducing the accumulation of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. So how do you reduce the greenhouse gases? I will come to the next slide. Here, the rich countries who are responsible for emission, they must pay some money to poor countries at the rate of $100 billion per year up to 2020, so that the poor countries utilize this money for technology hiring and also for promoting plantation forest, so that they can subscribe to greenhouse gas emission reduction without harming their economy.
Yeah.
Now, all the countries were asked to give their commitment how to do it. India's commitment was, we will reduce emission by 33 to 35%, which will be achieved by 2030 to come back to the level of 2,500. So we'll take 25 years to reduce, not 25 years, from 15 to 30, we'll take 15 years to reduce the level of emission by 1/3 so that we come back to 2005 level. How to achieve it? We can achieve it by two things. One is depending more on renewable resources and gradually scaling down the fossil fuel resources. So we will raise our renewable resource to 40% from the 14% through solar, wind, hydro, biomass, nuclear, and such kind of safe energy which are not emitting emissions. Second is the carbon which is already there in the atmosphere, how to capture it. One is carbon capture technology, which is not possible in large scale, which is also cost prohibitive. So the live answer is trees. Trees can sequester carbon dioxide. So India said 2.5 billion tons of carbon dioxide can be removed from the atmosphere by growing adequate trees, regenerating forest. But we did opposite. The example was MLA colony reconstruction, massacred indiscriminately. Next, what we preach, we do not do. So at COP 26, that is the 26th session of Conference of Parties on Climate Change, there was a stock taking, and Modi ji said he gave the Panchamrita mantra. What was that Panchamrita mantra? He said India will get its non-fossil fuel capacity to 500 gigawatt by 2030. It will enhance, and India will meet 50% of its energy requirement by 2030 with renewable energy, and India will reduce its projected carbon emission by 1 billion ton by 2030, and India will reduce carbon intensity of its economy by 45% by 2030, and India will achieve net zero by 2070. I will not be living, Modi will not be living by 2070. Some of you may be living, and some of your children may be living. We don't know what happens. So next, this was India's. You see, Terry, which got Nobel Prize for IPCC, had organized in February 2022. That was the World Sustainable Development Summit. The theme was towards a resilient planet, ensuring a sustainable and equitable future. What our Prime Minister said there, he preached for climate justice, means he said rich countries are polluting more, poor countries are polluting less. So there should be equity, there should be climate justice. And Madam, please apply your technology, put it down.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir.
keynote speaker was Muhammad Irfat Ali, President of Ghana. He said, don't go on talking, please do something. He said, less talk and urgent action. In this connection, I would say the three principles laid down for during this while celebrating World Earth Day, 22nd April, those three principles were: have innovation, take correct decision basing on innovation, and act immediately without a delay. Three principles that was preached in reference to World Earth Day. So next slide, madam, next slide.
Yes, sir. Oh,
This is what it's very. Now you give that.
This one, best practice.
No, previous that.
Yes.
Yes. You see, I
Dalai
salute
Lama.
this gentleman, Dalai Lama. How powerful statement. The planet does not need successful people. If you are double PhD, 10 PhD, more IS, he said, I do not know, do not want these things. The planet desperately needs more peacemakers, more eco-restoration people, story lovers and all kinds. And he said, we share the earth not only with our fellow human beings, but also with all other creatures. How powerful statement. Next slide.
Sir.
Next slide is, so what is the answer? The answer is best practices. What are the best practices? Adopt circular economy in preference over linear economy. What is linear economy? You see, resource, production, utilization, rejection. The waste region which is generated, we reject. This is linear economy. Circular economy is resource, production, consumption, recycling.
Recycling.
All the waste generated should be converted to wealth. Then the environment will not be polluted. We are not going to release any pollutants to the air, water, or land. Maybe it gaseous, maybe it is liquid or solid. So our economy should be full
Linear.
circle economy. Convert waste into wealth, conserve air and water and land, protect natural habitats. Biodiversity means forest, ocean, coast, lakes, rivers, everything. Change to environment-friendly lifestyle. And the last one, embrace spiritual life. We have started the program today with spiritual recitations. Without spiritual life, your life is no life.
No life.
Next slide.
Yes, sir.
This is what all great people, Rabindranath said. He said, coexistence with nature has been an integral part of Indian culture, said Rabindranath Tagore. Coexistence with nature has been an integral part of. In Mahabharata you see, in Ramayana you see, all gods spend some time in the jungles, in forest. That was harmony with nature. All the gods, all the hermits, all the sannyasis, even Buddha, he got his wisdom only under the tree. Next, next
Yes,
slide,
sir.
madam.
Yes, sir.
What are the, you see, I was giving example about Vishnu today morning. Many of you may not be knowing, in 1730, in West Rajasthan, Jodhpur area. No, Jodhpur Palace, you know, there was overseeing king. There was a king called overseeing. He wanted to construct a building, construct his palace. Those days, cement was not there. The lime was burnt. That was used as the cementing factor. So that needed to burn lime, or that wood was required. He ordered his soldiers to go around, cut trees wherever available and get it so that that can be fired. There was a village, Khesdoli. There is a community, Bishnoi. Bishnoi means 29 principles. That is Bishnoi. Bis plus Noi is Bishnoi. They have 29 principles to protect nature. Now their guru was Jambeswar. Now in 1730, when Abhar Singh ordered his soldiers to cut trees, One fine morning, the soldiers started cutting the trees. When this lady, Amrita Singh, a middle-aged lady, she could know, she came out of her house and prevented the axeman. The axeman said, "It is king's order, we can't stop." That lady hugged the tree, said, "If my head is cut, the value of the tree is much more than my body. So if you want to cut the tree, cut my head first." Those inhuman soldiers, they have to carry out their orders. They bearded Amrita Singh and cut the trees. In not returning home back, the three daughters came out of the house. The three daughters followed the same thing. They were beheaded. News spread around, villagers around came. 663 people hugged the trees, their heads were beheaded. Can you imagine?
My God.
Abhay Singh got this news. He was trembling. He came to the spot, stopped that activity, and he saluted and he said that day should be celebrated. Government of India is celebrating September 12th as Tree Martyrs Day.
Oh,
Another parallel incident occurred. Salman, you know, the film actor, Salman Khan, Tabu, Saif Ali Khan, and a few more artists went to Jodhpur area for shooting a film. That was in 1998. For pleasure, they wanted to make Sikar. And
yes.
two black bucks, Krishna Sar Mugo, were shot dead by Salman Khan.
Yes.
So three Bishnois were observing that. They caught hold of them. There was village committee. However, they were powerful people. There was a case. Salman Khan was penalized, was given the term, five-year jail term.
Yeah.
But however, over a long period, he went on doing fighting in the cases in the courts. By he had moneyed person, he got scot free. So this example why I am telling that black buck and this tree, that is khazari tree, that is those two are their religious plants and animals. So this is one example where the traditional culture, the 29 Vishnoi principles, that is ingrained in their socio-cultural milieu. So this inspired Chipko movement and all other movements. Next slide. These are some of the pictures in reference to my story. You can
Yes.
quickly skip. You see, this picture shows a lactating mother treats the cub of black buck as her own children. You see, one of her the child is one side and the cub is on the other side. This is a picture how Vishnu woman is breastfeeding the child and also the black buck. Next slide. Black buck and peacock. You see, we have in Odisha also some examples. In Ganjam district, Bhetnoi, Boguda, Ramonda area, community people, they do not kill black buck. They have protected. They were given the first Biju Patnaik award in 2005. In another place, that is Saragoda, quite close to that same place in Ganjam district, the community have protected this peacock. They were awarded the second Biju Patnaik award. So we in our own state also, we have lot of community consciousness for protection of the wildlife and trees. So those should be examples for all others, for us, all of. So harmony with nature, these are the tips. Protect air, water and land, earth, plant trees, save forest and water bodies, conserve biodiversity, save environment and save yourself. Next slide, madam.
Yes, sir.
Invest, you see, there were two themes. Invest in our planet was the theme of Earth Day. Only one planet is the theme of Environment Day. I put these two. I have given an article published today in the Pioneer and also in Nitidin on the same theme.
Yes, sir.
If you put these two things together, the meaning is we have
Yeah.
only one earth. Please invest so that we restore the earth. Next slide.
Yes, sir.
This is
Friday for
Greta
future.
Thunberg, you know. She launched a movement that is called Friday for Future campaign. Next slide. This
Yes,
is
finally the
this is
end.
symbolic. This is symbolic how
Yes.
we are going to face. So thank you for giving me so much of space, so much of time for patient hearing. I never imagined that 50 people would be listening to this old man of 80. I never imagined this. But this gives me a lot of enthusiasm. So the rest of my life I dedicate for public. Thank you. If any questions you can ask. Later also you can give, you can answer. Share my email, share my contact number,
Yeah.
everything. Now it is over to you, Madam
Thank you, sir.
Namita, Madam.
Thank you very much, sir. Very, very excellent presentation, sir. And may I request the house, if you have any question, please let us know very quickly. Otherwise, I'll share this in recording in YouTube so that all of you can go through all the slides. There are 47 slides, and each slide is very much informative. I think everyone should go through it because it is very necessary for our lifetime, for our life saving our life. It's not for others. So, really, sir, I am very much grateful to you, sir. As a teacher, we are the teacher educator. Sure, he did that. So now it's time to extend
Madam,
a heart. Sir,
just let me mention
yes, sir.
that that Khejri tree, the Odia name I forgot to tell, that is Somi Vriksha.
Shami.
Okay, continue.
Sir. So it's time to have a uh, vote of thanks. Proposal of a vote of thanks is not a very new thing, but from the core of my heart, I request our Vice Principal, ma'am, Dr. PTC, ma'am, please propose a heartfelt thanks to our visiting professor, I can say, on this webinar. Over to Dr. Pritishreee Nayak, please, ma'am.
Namaskar. A very good evening, all of you. Respected Chief Speaker, Dr.S. Patro sir, respected Principal Madam, Dr. Nalini Mohapatra, my dear Dr.NAMITA Madam, all the dignitaries and ladies and gentlemen present in the meeting. I feel honored to propose this vote of thanks on behalf of the organization and on my own behalf. We are grateful to our Chief Speaker, Dr. S.N. Mohapatra sir, for
I am just
sparing
Patro,
Yes,
not
yes,
Moha.
Patre, sir. Patre,
I
sir.
am not Moha, just ordinary.
for sparing his valuable space for us and blessing this function. A big thank you to Dr. Namita Madam for providing so much value to our audience and conducting and hosting the function smoothly. Once again, I would like to thank each one of you. I am grateful for giving me this opportunity. With sincere feelings of gratitude, I would like to take your leave. Thank you all. Jai Hind.
Thank you,
Thank
madam.
you, Namita madam.
Very, very short and very precise. But I would like to extend thanks on behalf of this domain to all the professors, those who have joined over here, starting from Jharkhand, Delhi, Bihar, UP, Rajasthan, and from Odisha also. So many botany professors are here, and some journalists are here also. I extend a heartfelt thanks to all of them for being with us, and it's a really an amazing presentation where there is pin drop silence maintained on this Google platform, being a virtual platform. So, on behalf of the Rover Ranger unit and Maharshi College, I want to present a small memento as a token of love to our sir. I think sir will acknowledge this small memento. It's for you, sir.
Yes, madam. I receive it with love and affection.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And it will be handed over in offline, sir.
Yes, yes. Online is okay. Online is enough.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Now, before winding up, I just want to ask any question, particularly Sambadik people are there. I am very much happy that beside being very much busy in their respective work, they have spared the time with us. So, thanks to Lord Jagannath for giving me an immense power to control this crowd in online. I never ask anybody to be keep quiet. Usually the presentation was so heart touching, so everybody used to be silent, and it is the respect on behalf of all the viewers to our honorable chief speaker. So on this matter, I want to request Lala Anand Kumar Singh from Puri, the journalist. You can you can interact, sir. How do you feel?
नमस्कार सर बहुत सुंदर लगे आज कार्यक्रम नमस्कार
Namaste, Lala. Namaste.
ଆଜ୍ଞା ନମସ୍କାର ଆଜି ପରିବେଶ ବିଷୟରେ ଯାହା ବୁଝିଲେ ବହୁତ ସୁନ୍ଦର ଆପଣ ବହୁତ ଶୁଭକାମନା ଆପଣ ଏମିତି ଆମକୁ ବୁଝୁଥାନ୍ତୁ ଆପଣ ଆଶୀର୍ବାଦ ରହିଥିବ ଆମ ସହିତ କାରଣ ଆପଣ ଭଳିଆ ଗୁରୁଦେବ ନିହାତି ଆମ ସହିତ ରହିବା ଦରକାର କାହିଁକି ନା ଆପଣମାନେ ରହିଲେ ହିଁ ଆମେମାନେ ପିଲାମାନେ ସମସ୍ତେ ଶିଖିପାରିବେ କିଛି ନା କିଛି
ମୋତେ
ଆଉ ଆପଣ
ଜଗନ୍ନାଥ ସାମନ୍ତ ଚନ୍ଦ୍ର ପୁରୀ କଲେଜରେ 5 ବର୍ଷ ଅଧ୍ୟାପନା ପାଇଁ ସୁଯୋଗ ଦେଇଥିଲେ।
ଆଜ୍ଞା ଆଜ୍ଞା
Hey, ଯିବି। ଆଚ୍ଛା ହଁ ଥାଉ ଥାଉ।
Thank you, Lala sir.
ଥ୍ୟାଙ୍କ ୟୁ ସାର୍ ନମସ୍କାର
ଯାଉଛି।
Gauri sir, Dr. Gauri sir, are you there? Gauri sir, may I request Gauri sir from Jajpur, SG College?
ସରିନି ଏଇ ଗୁଡୁ
Okay.
ବାସୁ ପଳେଇ ଆସିବ
So now it's time
ତୋಳು କହିଥିଲେ
to
ପଳେଇ
say
ଆସିଥାନ୍ତା
bye to
ତୋಳು
each
କହିଥିଲେ
of
ବାସୁ
us.
ପଳେଇ ଆସିଥାନ୍ତା
Prior to that, I'll
ତାର ଡେରି
request,
ହବ
we are
ଗୁଡୁ
having very less number of people now.
ରାତିରେ ଚିକେନ
However, please write
ନିହାତି
down if you have not registered yourself, please write down your name and name of the institution and the chat box so that I can prepare the certificates and share to you with your WhatsApp number. So please mention and WhatsApp number, name and institution name if you have not registered properly. So once again, thanks to all of you. I want to have a photograph. May I request all the
Ma'am,
friends? Yes, sir.
ma'am,
Yes, sir.
try to share the PPT, which is really more valuable. And
When we will have the recording means the PPT is always there. So now I
yeah,
request, yes, I request all the friends to be with us. We'll have a photograph session. Okay. Yes. You finish your name, writing your name and address, and we'll have a photograph with sir. May I request all the participants, please unmute your video, please. We'll have a photo.
Thank you, ma'am.
Narendra sir, namaste. Yes, Brajesh Nagar, Pratibha, unmute. Anita ma'am, Rukmini ma'am, Mihir sir, unmute your video. All of us will have a photographs, please. Thank you, Aishman. You have a very good photo backside, your backgrounds. Please unmute your video. We want to have a photograph with your photo, original photo. And we can share it to the newspaper. That's why I want everybody should be in photo को on कर दीजिए. Yes. Lion Bina Das is there, madam. Madam Bina Das is there. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. We have the photograph session. Now I'm going to close the recording. Stop the recording. Yes.